Hi, welcome to Whiskey Catapult, where we catapult around the world trying whiskeys from all over the world. So today we're catapulting to Scotland, to the Highland region, to the Pultney distillery. Now, I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be a little bit selfish about this one for the next 30 seconds. So, you will not be able to buy this bottle. It's sold out very quickly. There are only 54 bottles of it in existence. So, I apologize. But I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to talk about it because I want to talk about it. It's my channel, so I have that right. But I don't want you to go back empty-handed. So I'm going to talk about Glenmore, the independent bottler. I'm going to talk about my experience with Pultney Distillery, and I'm going to talk about how I got my hands on this bottle, which could help for future things. So, enough with the selfishness. So, this is a 17-year-old Scotch single cask from the Pultney Distillery. It is bottled from cask number 14369 and is first fill ruby port octave cask. So octaves are the smaller size casks they just don't hold as much, but you can get a lot more oak or in this case wine cask finish influence on top of it. It was bottled exclusively for the Whiskey Stories podcast, and this is bottled 9 of 54, and it is 54.8%. So that's all the main deets on there. So I got pretty lucky with this one. So I recently, probably a week before getting this, started following Rare Find on Instagram. Rare Find is the, brand from the independent bottler. And, just on a whim, see what they're doing. I've got a few other bottles of their stuff, and I like them pretty well. And they did a post on this to kind of say like, hey, this is a bottle that we brought out to a whiskey festival. We just poured one bottle and we had people try it, and they kind of did some, showed some reviews, what people thought about it, and they freaking loved it. They say, hey, we officially bottled it. We found some that we wanted to partner with, aka the Whiskey Podcast, and they bottled it. So I got this when it went up for sale from Royal Mile Whiskeys. I wish I bought two, but I didn't know it was going to be this good, so I just got the one. And it sold out like 30 to 40 minutes later. So, a little unfortunate, but hey, that's the way it goes. So, I got this in February. This will not last much longer. I've been drinking this a lot because it's so good. This is probably going to be in my top 5 whiskeys of the year, hands down. But it's deep, it's dark. It's rich. It's got some orange. It's got some dark chocolate notes. If you've ever had the chocolate oranges that you get around Christmas time, there's a dark chocolate version. Exactly this. It's exactly what I'm smelling in the glass. There's a little bit of red fruit in there as well from the ruby port cask, and a little bit of spice. But there's a lot going on. Everything on the nose hits the palate. It starts off with that kind of orange, citrus, dark chocolate, just kind of working well together. Oak spice kind of comes up at the end. It's creamy. It's rich. It's a lot of stuff going on. But it's so freaking good. God. I wish I had a second one. Strong on the finish. It's kind of more fruity than... It's not orange. It's kind of like a dark red fruit on the finish. A little bit of that oak spice. It kind of fades away into kind of like a creamy note. And then it's gone. So this one lingers a little bit, not a lot. But this ball has been open for a little bit. I opened it in February, and it's currently end of April when I'm recording this. So about 2.5 months. And I don't think I've finished a bottle this fast before. And I still have a little ways to go. And I'm definitely going to set aside a sample for later down the road. But this one's so freaking good. So I've got a few balls from the Rare Find brand, from the Glenmore Independent Bottler, and they do a really good job. I've got I think it's a 26-year Glen Elgin that's really good, all the classic notes. And then I've got I think it's an 18-year Tamdu. That's good. So I'm a fan of theirs from an independent baller from the whiskey standpoint. Now, the only thing I don't like about them is the bottle shape. Now, it looks nice. It's elegant. There's not a lot of label on here, so you can get a really good view of the whiskey. It looks fancy, and the box it comes in is also pretty fancy. But I don't like that the base is so narrow compared to the top part, especially with this much in there, because this can get knocked over so easily. So I don't like that about it. But from an independent bottler, they're doing some interesting stuff. Their pricing's pretty solid too. I got this one for, I think it was $140, $150, which 17-year-old, that's a pretty good deal. But they don't go crazy with their pricing from what I've seen. They're pretty reasonable. God. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. So I've had Old Pultney before. I've had their 12 and their 15 year. And I think they've got a non-age statement one out too. I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately. But they're making pretty good stuff. They have a really good coastal kind of note and vibe that you get. This one doesn't have. So I don't know when Glenmore bought this cask from Pultney to where it didn't really get much of that ocean influence, but it's very possible that the Ruby Port Octave cask that they put this into just overpowered and knocked out that coastal note, because I'm not really getting that in here. And I really get that from the 12. If you really want to try a coastal Scotch that you can't really, you can't get Springbank or something like that, Pultney 12 is a really good example of that. You get some of that kind of brininess, that saltiness in there. It's really good. The 15-year, I was indifferent on. I ended up giving the ball to my friend because I couldn't take it anymore. It's not that it was bad, but it wasn't consistent. Every time I would try it, it would be a completely different whiskey. And I was just I can't get my bearings on this. And most of the time, it was one that I don't want to say I didn't enjoy, but it just wasn't really doing it for me. I'd probably put it in more of the, I'm happy I bought it camp, but, I'm not super thrilled about it. But once every 4 or 5 times I try it, perfection. Super, super good. Really enjoyed it. But every other time, I couldn't get my bearings on it. And I just got frustrated with it enough to where I brought it over to my friend. He really liked it. I said, it was about halfway. I said, enjoy the rest of it. I'm sick of dealing with it. So, okay. A little bit of water. The nose is a little bit lighter. Kind of what you'd expect. There's more of the chocolate coming through now than there is the fruit of the orange. It's a nice dark chocolate. If you add the, I say a 70% cacao dark chocolate bar, that's where this is hitting. Ooh. That was a really nice cherry note in here. It's a dark chocolate cherry. So the orange shifted out. No, orange is still there. It's a little bit more subtle, but now it's kind of got that cherry orangeness in there. Man, fantastic. And I'm sorry for rubbing it in, because I know you can't buy this. But it's really good. I want to talk about it. One of the reasons I started this channel was I wanted reviews to be out there for stuff that I've not seen reviews on. And while you probably won't be able to buy this one unless you get lucky at auction or something like that, it's worth knowing about the brand, keeping your eye out for when they do stuff like this. Yeah, the orange fades away a little bit. It's still there lingering, but not as prominent. But that dark chocolate, That oak spice, it just works so well. That dark fruit. Actually, I think the finish is actually a little bit longer with water. Usually that's not the case. That's impressive. But this will easily be one of my top 5 whiskeys of the year. I'm probably going to have to keep the bottle for when I do a video of my top 5 of the year to still showcase this. But wow. I got lucky with this pickup. So, but it kind of goes to show, you gotta stay kind of vigilant with stuff like this. I know a lot of people will follow liquor stores for like bourbon drops and things like that. And if you're into bourbon, that's a great way to manage that. Social media does a really good job there. Following independent bottlers is kind of the same way, where, yes, you're probably, if you're in the States, you're going to have to pay for shipping. You're going to have to get it from an export site. You only want to buy it from sites that you trust. I got this from Royal Mile Whiskeys. I bought from them a few times before. I don't do it very often because I don't like paying the shipping and tariffs currently. But, when they got me with their social media posts. They showed the people talking about, at the festival, saying like how much they liked it, how much they enjoyed it. And I was just like, they could have been talking about a completely different whiskey and just use that, kind of montage to sell this specific bottle. But it worked, and I got it, and it's amazing. So sometimes it works out. But, yeah. So, sorry you're not going to be able to buy this one. I'm going to keep an eye out at auctions in case this one pops up if I get lucky. But like I said, there's only 54 bottles of it. It's a bottle for the Whiskey Stories podcast, so maybe they've got a different avenue where they got a couple extra bottles hanging out or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for another one because this one's one of those kind of flash in the pan, like no idea if I'm gonna like it or not, but all signs point to yes. And boy, am I glad that it panned out. So. Yeah, highly recommend. I know you can't get it, so apologies for that, but I want to talk about it, so oh well. So if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe to see where we catapult off to next. Cheers.